Namaskar, I am Dr. Nadeep Singh Vance, Associate Professor in Botany, Dungar PG College, Bikaner. Friends, today I am going to present my second lecture on secondary metabolites regarding major classes of secondary metabolites. A restricted range of precursors metabolites are present in plants and a relatively limited number of reaction types can give rise to an enormous range of secondary metabolites. Interestingly, although there is such an enormous potential for variation in secondary metabolism, any given plant species only synthesized a defined and limited range of products. Genetically related plants accumulate similar products, confirming that these differences in secondary metabolism have arisen as a result of evolution. Determine the degree of relatedness between plants by comparing their profiles of secondary metabolites has proved useful in plant classification and is termed chemotaxonomy. And typical species-dependent differences in secondary metabolism include variations in the relative abundance of isoprenoids, alkaloids, and phenolics, and their degree of structural elaboration, and their substitution with functional groups. In some cases, these variations are due to the presence or absence of whole biosynthetic pathways. And there are four major classes we can find in plants about secondary metabolites, and these are phenolic compounds, polyketides, isoprenoids or terpenes, and nitrogen containing compounds. And almost 8,000 phenolic compounds have isolated so far and identified them. These are lignins, tannins, coumarins, aflatoxins, flavonoids, anthocyanins, salicylic acid, and scopolamine. And almost 10,000 polyketides, including viron, isocoumarin, tetrahydrocannabinol, have been identified, and almost over 35,000 isoprenoids or terpenes have been isolated, and these are rubber, steroid, essential oil, carotenoid pigments. And fourth class is nitrogen containing compounds, means alkaloids, glycosylated nitrogen containing acids, and non-protein amino acids. And over 12,000 nitrogen containing compounds have been identified so far. As I explained in my previous presentation about secondary metabolism, the main source of production of these secondary metabolites are primary metabolites, and these primary metabolites are produced as a result of photosynthesis, and there are two basic pathways, as I have already stated in my previous presentation, that's Shikimate pathway and acetate pathway. And these are some classes of secondary metabolites which I will explain one by one in this my presentation. Phenolic metabolites are the most ubiquitous of secondary metabolites in plants, comprising the hydroxybenzoic acids, the phenyl propanoids, and compounds derived from these precursors. Most of these compounds are derived from the shikimic acid pathway via phenyl propanoids, with a small number of simple phenols derived from 3-dehydroshikimic acid. And in view of their phytotoxicity, phenolic metabolites are rarely found as free A glycans but are more commonly stored as glycosidic conjugates in the vacuoles. As I have already explained in my previous presentation in secondary metabolism and vacuolar storage of secondary metabolites, that these phenolic compounds or secondary metabolites are stored in vacuoles in inert form, as these compounds have very strong nucleophilic function group, and they can easily glycosylated and stored in vacuoles in inactive forms. And many hydroxybenzoic acids are simple derivatives of phenyl propanoid precursors, as salicylic acid, which is important in disease resistance in plants, is synthesized from cinnamic acid. This salicylic acid, a very important compound of cardiac medicines, as you can see in Disprin, methyl salicylate is there. So these salicylic acid synthesized from cinnamic acid via 2 hydroxylation by a mixed function oxidase, following by beta oxidation of the side chain double bond. And another important group of hydroxybenzoic acid metabolism are the hydrolyzable tannins, formed from the multiple esterification of glucose with gallic acid. And hydroxy benzoic acids may also be reduced to the corresponding aldehydes and alcohols such as vanillin. And in addition to being central to phenolic metabolism, several phenyl propanoids are also common plant constituents in their conjugated forms. For example, the quinate ester of caffeic acid, chlorogenic acid, is formed from trans-esterification of the glucosyl ester of caffeic acid with quinic acid, and is found in many plants at very higher concentrations. Similarly, phenyl propanoids can also undergo further cyclization to form coumarins such as scopolamine. And coumarins are widely encountered in plants and accredited with many biological activities. Lignin is the second most abundant biopolymer with important structural functions in the plant, and is thus not a classical secondary product. However, its synthesis is directly derived from phenyl propanoid metabolism. Lignification involves successive ring hydroxylations and methylations of cavic acid to form coumaric acid, ferulic acid, and synapic acid. In some plants, these reactions proceed via the free acids, while in other species the coenzyme esters are used. And coumaric acid, ferulic acid, and synapic acid are reduced to coumaryl alcohol, coniferyl alcohol, and synapyl alcohol respectively by the action of NADPH dependent dehydrogenases. The unstable alcohols may be glycosylated if not required immediately, or alternatively are polymerized via carbon-carbon and carbon-oxygen linkage to form lignin in the developing cell wall. The oxidative polymerization proceeds through the formation of phenoxy radicals and is catalyzed by peroxidases. The resulting polymer is laid down the cell wall around the cellulose microfibrils. Lignin is a rigid polymer, and its deposition effectively prevents further cell expansion lignified cells are incapable of further growth and lose all metabolic functions. The combination of the tensile strength of the cellulose and the incompressible nature of lignin means that lignified cells are particularly strong and rigid, which has been a crucial factor in the development of vascular system of higher plants. And the strength of the lignified xylem vessels allow the transport of water and solids over long distances, and this is most obvious in trees where lignin is particularly abundant, representing between 15% and 25% of the dry weight. The relative composition of the three components cinnamyl alcohols determine whether the tree is described as a hardwood or a softwood. Thus, lignin from hardwoods contain proportionally less coniferal alcohol than the lignin from softwood, and lignification is transcriptionally controlled through the regulation of all the biosynthetic enzymes. Recently, there has been considerable interest in manipulating lignification through genetic engineering to improve the digestibility of forage crops and also to facilitate paper production from wood pulp. And the enzymes targeted for manipulation have been the orthomethyltransferases, the cinnamyl alcohol dehydrogenases, and the peroxidases. Verifying degree of success have been reported. Flavonoids are ubiquitous and diverse group of phenolics derived from the chalcones formed from shikimate and acetate precursors. The flavonoids have the characteristic three-membered ABC rings structure, as I will show in the next slide. These ABC ring structure and are invariably determined in plants as their respective glycosides. The first committed precursor of the flavonoid pathway are the unstable chalcones, which readily isomerize to the corresponding flavonones. Due to the instability, chalcones are rare in plants, but by derivatizing the 2-hydroxy group, the chalcone structure may be stabilized with the 4,4-dihydroxy to methoxy chalcone. And flavonones are also relatively rare in plants through occasionally, as is the case of naringenin in grapefruit. And high concentration can accumulate. Flavonones are the common precursor of the more widely distributed flavones, flavonols, anthocyanins, and the isoflavones. The conversion of flavonone to these flavonoid derivatives is controlled by three distinct oxygenases. In legumes, the mixed function oxidase isoflavone synthase catalyzes an oxidative ring migration, with the isoflavonone intermediate then being dehydrated to yield the isoflavone. And the flavones are synthesized from the flavonone by the introduction of a double bond in the carbon ring. The reaction is catalyzed by the oxygenase flavone synthase, and in most plants this is a mixed function oxidase called flavone synthase. However, some plants such as parsley using a dioxygenase, and flavone synthase is therefore an interesting enzyme of secondary metabolism. In that two distinct type of enzymes have evolved to catalyze the same reaction. Flavones such as apigenin are very common metabolites in plants with diverse function including UV protectants, antioxidants and pigments, and flavone synthase is upregulated during pigment synthesis and in response to adverse environmental conditions. The other major type of flavonoid metabolites commonly found in plants is flavonols, formed by the oxidation of the flavonol by the dioxygenase flavonol 3 beta hydroxylase. The dihydroflavonols formed such as dihydrocamphorol stand at a further branch point in flavonoid synthesis. The dioxygenase flavonol synthase can introduce a double bond in carbon ring to form the flavonols such as camphorol. Alternatively, the dihydroflavonols can be converted to flavindiols by dihydroflavonol reductase. The flavindiols are the direct precursor of the colored anthocyanin pigments such as pelargonidin. The flavindiols can also undergo condensation to form the proanthocyanidin condensed tannins. These are some plant phenolics: hydroxycinnamic acid, cinnamic aldehyde, lignans, suberins, stilbenes, lignans, coumarins, flavonoids, and these flavonoids, common flavonoids are anthocyanidins, flavonols, flavones, isoflavones, flavonols and flavonones, salicylic acid, gallic acid, coumaric acid, caffeic acid, ambelliferone, scopolamine, flavone, apigenin, quercetin and camphorol. These two flavonoids are very commonly found in our xerophytic plants of Rajasthan desert, and this diagram clearly stated that formation of hydrolyzable tannin and these salicylic acids, vanillin, scopolamine, chlorogenic acid, eugenols, all these are lignin structures. This is simplified lignin. You can see here the three rings, ABC rings, three-membered ABC rings of flavonoids. This is the characteristic three-membered ABC ring structure, and the flavonols are these flavonols are common precursor of the more widely distributed flavones flavonols and anthocyanins and isoflavones. And all these activities with the help of branch point oxygenases. And these flavones are synthesized from the flavanone by the introduction of a double bond in carbon ring catalyzed by the oxygenase flavone synthase. Flavone synthase is therefore an important enzyme of secondary metabolism. These flavonols formed by the oxidation of flavanone by the dioxygenase flavanone 3 beta hydroxylase enzyme, branch point enzyme, and these flavonols are the direct precursors of colored pigment of flowers in angiosperm plants, anthocyanin. Polyketides, unlike the fungi, which make many secondary metabolites entirely from acetate, plants use polyketides most commonly in elaborating the structure of secondary metabolites derived from other pathways. Interesting exceptions are the antifungal polyacetylene compound veron, synthesized in broad beans, and the isocoumarin 6-methoxymelin in carrots, which, although resembling a shikimate derived phenolic, is made entirely from acetate, not from shikimate pathway. These compounds are formed with acetate pathway. In addition to elaborate phenyl propionate metabolism to yield the flavonoids, polyketides can also contribute to elaborating terpene derived metabolites to form complex compounds such as tetrahydrocannabinol, the psychoactive principle in drug cannabis. These are some polyketides, veron and 6-methoxymelin and tetrahydrocannabinol, which is psychoactive principle of cannabis. Isoprenoids. Whatever is biosynthetic origin isopentenyl pyrophosphate, the activated isoprene monomer is the 5-carbon building block of all isoprenoids. In the core isoprenoid pathway, IPP is used to build up first monoterpene C10, then sesquiterpene C20, C15, then diterpenes C20. Similarly, triterpenes C30, tetraterpenes C40. The isoprenoid pathway provides a plant cell with essential primary metabolites such as carotenoids, sterols and polyphenols involved in electron transport as well as secondary products. The larger polyphenols can also be contributed in the form of non-photosynthetic pigments such as crocin, the yellow pigments in saffron. C30 triterpenes and sterols are also present as secondary metabolites, usually as glycosides termed as saponins, and have antifungal, insecticidal, molluscicidal and pesticidal properties by virtue of non-specific insertion into membrane. the cyclases which are specific for monoterpenes, sesquiterpenes and diterpenes serve as branch point enzyme from the central isoprenoid pathway and introduce a variety of cyclized structures coupled with subsequent modifications by mixed function oxidases and methylases. This can result in an enormous diversity of metabolites from a single terpene. The monoterpenes and sesquiterpenes are frequently volatile and are the major component of the essential oils in plants, essences and fragrances. Such essential oils are synthesized in specific plant secretory organs such as trichomes or hairs, where they can become major metabolites, accounting for up to 30% of the dry weight of the plant tissue. And isoprenoid secondary metabolites can also be selectively synthesized in response to plant development, stress and infants. You can see here the IPP, isopentenyl pyrophosphate, the main precursor, which is responsible for the production of these camphor, camphene, limonene and alpha pinene isoprenoids or terpenoids. These are some examples of monoterpenes: menthol, sesquiterpene means C15, 15 carbon compound sesquiterpene, S-taminosin. Diterpenes means C20, 20 carbon paclitaxel, and triterpenes 30 carbon compound C30 quercetin. Tetraterpenes means C40, 40 carbon compound lycopene, and similarly saponins and steroids, stigmasterol and diosgenin. And this is the fourth major group of secondary metabolites, that is nitrogen containing secondary metabolites. Nitrogen containing secondary metabolites are encountered less commonly in plants than the phenolics and terpenoids, but are very important in view of their bioactivity as drugs and toxins. And the most important nitrogen containing secondary products are alkaloids, being found in 20% of higher plants. And the common feature, as their name suggests, being the presence of one or more basic nitrogen containing functional groups. And other important nitrogen containing secondary products include the glucosinolates, the cyanogenic glycosides, the non-protein amino acids, and the floral pigment betaline. The alkaloids derived from amino acids, the amino acids lysine, ornithine, phenylalanine, tyrosine, tryptophan and histidine are the common nitrogen source of the majority of alkaloids found in plants. It means these are the precursors of alkaloids which are derived from amino acids. In all cases, the first step in alkaloid synthesis is dicarboxylation, with the respective decarboxylases acting as the branch point enzymes for primary metabolism. It means the formation of alkaloids are occurred with the help of branch point enzyme decarboxylases. Besides being derived directly from amino acids, alkaloids can also be derived from multiple biosynthetic sources as in nicotine and hyoscyamin. The combination of varied precursors makes alkaloids some of the most complex of secondary metabolites and has contributed to their diverse bioactivity. The isoquinoline alkaloids derived from tyrosine or phenylalanine. Phenylpropanoids give rise to the opiate morphine. The pharmacologically active indole alkaloids strychnine and vincristine are derived from tryptophan and isoprenoids. These are some common alkaloids which are derived from amino acids. You can see here the precursor ornithine, amino acid ornithine, which is converted into pyrrolidine with the help of decarboxylase branch point enzyme, and these pyrrolidines produce hygrine simple alkaloid and nicotine and hyoscyamin. Hyoscyamin is a very complex alkaloid because this simple alkaloid has a single pyrrole nitrogen ring in this structure, and complex alkaloids have many pyrrole rings or complex structures, and these complex alkaloids are produced with the help of phenylpropanoids. And other alkaloids, terpenoids are involved in the biosynthesis of many alkaloids when combined with amino acid metabolites, but in a limited number of cases sterol derived secondary metabolites may contribute all the atoms in the structure except for the nitrogen, which is introduced into the molecule at the terminal stage of synthesis by transamination, probably from arginine. These secondary metabolites are termed as pseudoalkaloids and are relatively rare, being observed in Veratrum and Solanum species as sterol derived glycoalkaloids. And nicotinic acid can also serve as nitrogen containing precursor of alkaloids, and when conjugated with pyrrolidines and piperidines gives rise to the toxic and addictive tobacco alkaloids such as nicotine. A very important but rare type of alkaloid can be derived from purine metabolism, as caffeine is derived from the methylation of 7-methylxanthocene and is a major metabolite in the developing leaves of tea plants and immature beans of coffee. So, caffeine is the main constituent secondary metabolite of tea plant and immature beans of coffee. However, tannin is also there in tea plants. These are the common alkaloids. This is morphine, strychnine, conine, solanidine, which is a sterol pseudoalkaloid, and caffeine. As I stated, it is very important secondary metabolite or alkaloid of tea plants. Glycosylated nitrogen containing toxins. Plants also contain a diverse range of other toxic nitrogen containing secondary metabolites typically stored in the vacuoles as their respective glycosides in agronomic important cruciferous crops such as oilseed rape. These compounds are released from the vacuole following tissue injury and hydrolyze the cytosolic enzyme myrosinase to produce isothiocyanates, which are powerful alkylating agents. I had already explained this type of movement of secondary metabolites in my presentation of vacuolar storage of secondary metabolites. Cyanogenic glucosides, which are found in the crop of clover, cassava, and some soft fruits, are stored in the vacuoles as pretoxins. Amygdalin, which is found in wild cherries, undergoes a two-step hydrolytic activation to release hydrogen cyanide and benzaldehyde following tissue disruption. And other nitrogen containing glycosylated toxins include cycacin, a secondary metabolite, cycate ferns, which is hydrolyzed to the carcinogen methyl azomethanol, and organonitrides, which are hydrolyzed to release toxic nitrites in Astragalus species. And these are some glycosylated nitrogen containing toxins. You can see isothiocyanate, which is very toxic secondary metabolite, which is produced with the help of myrosinase. These toxic secondary metabolites are stored in vacuoles. When in need, they can move out from vacuoles after their sugar is removed, and they can act as protecting agent against any pathogen or foreign particles in the plants. As I stated earlier, these are known as phytoalexins or phytoanticipins. And this is amygdalin, which is also a glycosylated nitrogen containing toxin, which can produce after decarboxylation cyanide, which is very toxic, hydrogen cyanide, which is very toxic substance for the foreign particles. So these secondary metabolites are very useful for plants in their defense, and these secondary metabolites can useful for the production of drugs and medicines. Non-protein amino acids, which functions as intermediates in primary metabolism. For example, homoserine. Some plants, especially members of the Leguminaceae and Liliaceae, accumulate non-protein amino acids as end products of metabolic pathways, which are considered to be true secondary metabolites. And these compounds are especially abundant in storage tissue such as seeds, as in legumes, or rhizomes in Liliaceae. Many non-protein amino acids are structural analogues of protein amino acids. One of the best studies is cannabidiol, an analog of arginine, which is found in jack beans, Cannamelia ensiformis, and a number of related legume species. Non-protein amino acids are usually toxic to animals and microorganisms. Incorporation into polypeptides during translation, for example, leads to the production of non-functional protein molecules, and non-protein amino acids can also interfere in amino acid biosynthesis, transport, and other processes. These non-protein amino acids are never incorporate in the formation of any protein molecules. That's why these amino acids are free in the cells and very toxic to animals and microorganisms. So these are some major classes of secondary metabolites. Hope you will like this presentation, and if you have any query or any confusion, then you can ask me freely on my WhatsApp number, mobile number, or you can ask in this YouTube channel also. Thank you very much. Take care.